All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're talking about one of the most powerful and, frankly, terrifying figures in Islamic end times prophecy, the Dajjal. You might know him as the Antichrist or the Great Deceiver. In this explainer, we're going to walk through everything: who he is, how he's supposed to deceive the world, and how this whole massive trial finally comes to an end. And to really get a sense of how serious this is, we have to start right here, with this core prophecy. It basically says the Dajjal will surely come before the day of judgment. So this isn't some maybe or a metaphor. According to the tradition, his arrival is a dead certainty, one of the major signs that the end of the world as we know it is near. And that's really the whole point. The arrival of the Dajjal isn't just another event to check off a list. It's meant to be the single greatest test of faith, the ultimate fitna that all of humanity will ever have to face. It's a test designed to shake your belief system to its absolute core. So, who exactly is this guy? What are people supposed to be looking for? Let's start by breaking down the signs of his arrival and what it all really means. You know what's so interesting is how specific the prophecies get about his appearance. The whole idea is that for anyone who's paying attention and knows the signs, his deception won't work. So let's get into those very specific details. Okay, check this out. The descriptions are incredibly vivid. He's said to be a one-eyed man, and his other eye is totally clouded over, completely blind. But here's the big one. The word kafir, which means disbeliever, will literally be written across his forehead. And get this, the letters are supposed to be so huge they'll look like separate mountains. Even his footprint is said to be inhuman, more like Satan's. These are not subtle signs. And all these signs are there to warn people about the fitna. Now, fitna is a really important word here. It doesn't just mean a small test or a temptation. We're talking about a massive, world-spanning trial where everything gets turned upside down, where right looks wrong and wrong looks right. It's designed to push humanity to its breaking point, and the Dajjal is the absolute embodiment of that test. And how long does this chaos last? Just 40 days. But, and this is a huge but, time itself is going to get weird. The first day will feel like an entire year. The second day will feel like a month, the third like a week, and only then will the rest of the days feel normal. So it's an incredibly short, but unbelievably intense period of pure deception. So you've got to be asking yourself, if the signs are so obvious, disbeliever written on his forehead, how on earth could he trick anyone? Well, that's where his powers come in. Powers that look divine, but are nothing more than a world-class illusion. He's prophesied to show up during a time of terrible drought and famine, when people are desperate, and that's when he'll make his big claim, I am your Lord. And to prove it, he'll perform what look like miracles. He'll make the skies rain, make crops grow. He'll even appear to heal the blind. He will travel the entire globe at lightning speed, visiting every single city, except for two, Mecca and Medina. Those holy places he cannot enter. And this right here, this is his masterpiece of deception. He'll offer everyone a choice between a beautiful, tempting garden and a terrifying, raging fire. But it's all a trick. His garden is actually hellfire. And that scary fire he threatens you with, that's actually paradise. The only way to win is to have the courage to choose what looks like punishment. Man, with that kind of power to deceive, it can feel pretty hopeless, right? But here's the thing. The prophecies don't just lay out the problem. They also give a very clear roadmap for how believers can protect themselves and see right through the act. So, what's the game plan? First, knowledge is your best weapon. You have to know the signs. Second, you hold on tight to your faith. Reciting Alif, Lam, Mim, those opening letters from some chapters of the Quran, is said to be a source of spiritual strength. Third, if you can, get to Mecca or Medina, the two places he can't go. And finally, you pray. There's a specific prayer asking God for protection from this very trial. So when the Dajjal stands in front of you and says, I am your Lord, the proper response is what you see here. It translates to, you are not my Lord. My Lord has commanded me to recognize you. It's not just about thinking it. It's about a direct, verbal, and fearless rejection of his claim. It's a statement that your faith is stronger than his illusion. Now, this great trial, as terrifying as it is, isn't meant to last forever. All of these events are just a build-up to a massive, dramatic climax, where the Dajjal's reign of lies is finally brought to an end. Okay, so here's how it all goes down. The beginning of the end is when the Dajjal tries to enter Medina
and fails. An army of believers will rise up to confront him, and he'll actually turn and flee. And it's at that exact moment that Hazrat Isa, that's Jesus, is prophesied to descend from the heavens. He will chase down the Dajjal, finally catching him at a place called Ut Mountain, and there he will defeat him, ending the great deception once and for all.
And what happens next isn't just a return to the way things were. The defeat of the Dajjal ushers in a new era, a time of incredible peace, blessings, and a total renewal for the entire planet. The sources describe a world overflowing with blessings. The earth will become unbelievably fertile, with crops and fruits growing in abundance. People who made it through the trial will strengthen their faith, and a special rain will come and wash the entire world clean. It's described as a time of true peace and gratitude. Now, it's really important to mention the Dajjal's defeat isn't the final event. This period of peace is followed by another major trial, the release of the destructive forces known as Ya'juj and Ma'juj, or Gog and Magog, who will also eventually be destroyed. But that's a whole other story. So, when you boil it all down, this epic prophecy about a great world-ending deception is really a powerful lesson about the battle between truth and lies. It's a story that champions knowledge, unwavering faith, and courage. And it leaves us with a pretty heavy question that feels more relevant than ever. In our own lives, with our own modern deceptions, how do we get better at telling what's real from what's just a really good illusion?